Hey, it's travelgigolo and this is Chipinda Pools campsite in Gonarezhou National Park. From the A4 highway that joins Harare and BeitBridge, turn off at Rutenga, drive through Chiredzi and then from Chiredzi to Gonarezhou National Park. So, how to get here? It's pretty close to the main reception area. So basically you've got to drive to the main reception area first to come to the campsite. And to get there, it's along the A4, either coming from BeitBridge or Harare, whatever the case is, turn off at Rutenga to Chiredzi and then from Chiredzi to Gonarezhou. There are alternative routes to get you that are a bit more scenic, dirt roads. However, if you want to get you quickly and painlessly, then I advise go along the tar road route, which is what Gonarezhou also recommends. To get to Gonarezhou, you don't need a 4x4 or any kind of special vehicle, but I would advise that you have clearance to drive through the park. Now, there is a causeway over the Runde River, which is the shortest route to get from the gate to the office. At the time that we're here, we've traversed that causeway and it's a rocky built-up causeway similar to a rocky weir. And in that case, you need some clearance, definitely. A 4x4 is probably advisable for that, but you can also drive around to the built causeway and then drive from there to the office, and that's an easy route. It's just a bit longer. You don't require any kind of special vehicle for that, but I do advise clearance for driving on the dirt roads in the park. Now, because the causeway across the river, the stony one, is pretty much a level crossing, if I can call it that, almost, it is sometimes not traversable because the river is too high, so you may have to go the longer route over the concrete causeway. Trailers and caravans. Off-road trailers, off-road caravans, I think you can definitely bring here. Bringing a normal caravan, I think you would struggle with because there are some fairly steep inclines, etc. within the park, and a couple of the what look like speed humps, but which are probably actually for moving storm water off the road to stop erosion. Those are fairly high. So just to get down here to the campsite that's in the Runde River Valley, right on the edge of the Runde River, you probably will have a difficult time if you've got a normal road going caravan. So off-road, definitely, off-road trailer. You could probably bring a normal trailer as well. Just it must have a sensible amount of clearance. This is considered to be a developed site insofar as the Gonarezhou campsites are concerned. There's a beautiful lapa here, which is really quite convenient to have. It's a nice shady spot and you can have your dinner under there. And there's also a nice concrete table in there and a couple of benches around that lapa. So that's actually a really nice feature here. The lapa is also nice because if it rains, which it could, of course, we're in the tropics. It's not that wet an area here, it's relatively dry. But if it rains, it's nice to have that lapa too. There's a built rice stand, very nice, with a tap on the side as well, so you've got access to water right next to your rice stand. The rice stand does come with the grid. In fact, the facilities here are fairly newly built, it looks like, and they're in really good nick in the time that we are here. There's also a fire pit, which I really like. They've got a nice round fire pit and it's a dish made of concrete, which is nice. I wish there were more fire pits like this because it's easy to contain your fire and also the ash, and it works out really well because it's round as well. You can sit around it, it's quite social. So that's a nice feature. I like the way they've done the fire pit on this campsite and the others that we've been through in Chipinda Pools. Although there's water, there's no electricity and there's no lighting. The water which is here is not potable. At least we have not been informed that it's potable, so we've assumed that it's not potable. Great shade on this campsite that we're on and a couple of the others as well. There's one or two that have slightly less shade, but most of the campsites are built around a large tree, and so there's really nice shade here. It's a really nice place to chill actually in your campsite, especially in the heat of the day and in the afternoon and in the early morning, looking over the river. Very nice setup from that point of view. Space-wise, our campsite, which is about an average size of the 9 campsites that are here, it's about maybe 30-35 meters long by about 25 meters or so wide. So a good amount of space to put up your tent, to park your vehicle. If you've got a caravan, to put up your caravan. There's a decent amount of space around the fire pit as well, to sit around the fire pit, and there's the lapa as well. Doesn't feel crowded at all. It's actually a really nice space and it's relatively flat as well. There's no grass here. It's basically a sort of cleared area underneath the tree, which works really well. We've seen 2 other sets of people on other campsites here. They both had 3 or 4 vehicles with the number of people ranging between 4 and I would say 6 people altogether, and they seem to set up without any space issues. Bathrooms, very nice bathrooms. Very small, but there's a bathroom for every 3 campsites, so it's actually quite adequately sized. Oh, there's a men's and a women's side, of course. 1 shower, 1 toilet and 2 basins, but very clean, very well kept. It actually looks very new, so I'm sure it's quite recently built as well. Now there is hot water from a solar geyser. The geyser is not that large, so I don't know that you would have sufficient hot water for 3 campsites if all of the campsites are full, but nevertheless there is a solar geyser. I think we've been lucky in the time that we're here because the people that were camping at the adjacent campsites all had their own bathroom facilities and so on, so it seems like we were the only ones actually using the showers and we did not run out of hot water. There's no toilet paper in the bathroom, so bring your own toilet paper. Although there are no dustbins on the campsite, so you've got to keep all your garbage together, there are a set of cage dustbins at the reception, which is a short drive away. So when you do come here, make sure to keep your garbage together and then go and dispose of it at the reception when you go there. The campsites are a decent distance apart. I'd say there's at least 50 meters between campsites, which is quite nice, and there's a bit of vegetation in between as well, so you don't generally have direct line of sight to each other, which is nice. You know, the sound of course will carry at night, for example, so you can hear your neighbors, but they're a fair distance apart and you feel quite alone here, and I like that. I like the feeling of kind of being alone in your campsite and well separated from the other campers. Purchaseables. There's very little that you can purchase here. You can get wood, which is nice to have. It's actually excellent. We've had some excellent dry wood, had a beautiful fire last night. So you can get wood from reception, you can get wood from any of the larger receptions or check-in points. And that's about all. You've got to bring everything else that you need with you. So you've got to bring your own food, your own water, your own lighting, etc., etc. The nearest town from here is Chiredzi, or at least a significant town where you can go and buy stuff in a set of shops and so on. There are smaller little outposts along the way, but not stocked with the sort of things that you'd require probably for camping. And so I recommend that if you want to buy stuff or your last stop on the way in is Chiredzi, then that's the place to buy stuff. You'll also get fuel there. That's kind of the last place where you'll easily get fuel. So I do advise that you fill up as well at Chiredzi on your way into Gonarezhou. Gate times are 6 to 6, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Maintenance of the campsites, very good. Campsites, everything is in good order while we are here. The campsite is cleaned every day, so there is a cleaner that comes around, gets rid of the ash and just generally does the cleaning of the campsites and the bathroom. So everything is really well managed in the time that we are here, and we're very impressed with it. Our interactions with the staff have been excellent so far. Very helpful, very accommodating, very knowledgeable as well. So it's been a great experience from the time we got in the gate to the time that we went to reception to interacting with the cleaners on the site. It's been really, really nice. Stuff to do here. Obviously you're in a national park, so lots of wildlife, but you can also fish on the Runde River, which I've done a little bit of, caught a couple of barbel and so on. Definitely bream in here as well, and reportedly some tiger fish as well. I did not catch any tiger fish, but I believe that there are tiger fish in this river system. Lots of birds, beautiful from a birding point of view, lots of bird sounds as well. And for me, that's one of the things that really lends to a nice campsite in the wild, is the sound of birds and hippos. And it really is a really great feeling. This is an unfenced campsite. There are no fences, and this is a Big 5 national park. So take note of that. We haven't heard any lions yet. We've heard some hyenas, and we've certainly seen elephants, and there are a lot of hippos as well in the river, and they make quite a racket actually through the day and into the evening as well, which is really nice. It's nice to have that sound of the hippos around in the campsite. But like I said, it is an unfenced campsite, and so you will have wildlife coming through here. We've seen nyala, we've seen impala, we've seen kudu, and a few other smaller wildlife like mongooses and so on and so forth. Beautiful campsite from that point of view. It is unfenced, so take note of that. I don't think you'd have any issues here, any kind of negative or scary interactions. We certainly haven't had any, but it's an absolutely beautiful wilderness type campsite. There are monkeys and baboons. We haven't seen the baboons, we've seen evidence of them. We have seen the monkeys, however, for the first time this morning. In the couple of days we've been here, we haven't seen them except this morning, and they seem quite skittish. They're not coming into the campsite to raid stuff, so they seem to have a healthy respect so far for humans. So if you do come here, please don't feed the monkeys and let them maintain that natural wildlife wariness of people in the campsite. So what type of camper is this for? Well, basically almost anybody can camp here, except know that it is unfenced and there's no electricity and no lighting. Note that there's no electricity or lighting at any of the campsites in Gonarezhou, so you've got to be prepared. Quick recap, what is here? Fire pit, lapa, nice shade, braai stand, water, bathrooms with hot water from a solar geyser. There's fishing, there's lots of bird viewing, and of course some wildlife that comes through the campsites as well. And there's a beautiful view over the Runde River. What's not here? No electricity, no lighting, no potable water, so make sure to bring your own water. Nothing to buy, no purchaseables except wood. So you've got to bring all the stuff that you need with you, and make sure that you fill up your vehicle with petrol or diesel before you come into the park. Bookings are made via email or phone call. It's quite a formal process, very nice, and they will send you confirmation and a pro forma invoice and all the things that you require to do a booking. Something I also really like is that you are assigned a campsite. So the campsites are numbered and you are assigned a campsite. And I like that. It eliminates confusion and how many campsites and who's not staying in a campsite or should be staying in a campsite. This is really the way to do it. And I actually wish that there were more national parks that would set up their camping bookings in this manner. So overall impression, for us, this is a really nice campsite. This is kind of the perfect camping setup for us. It's relatively private. We've got good distance from the other campers. It doesn't have electricity and lighting, which is fine. I mean, we like that. We like being able to sit in the dark in the evening next to the fire pit and have the fire going and the sounds of animals and hippos and be on the water's edge. For us, this is a very nice campsite. This is the best sort of camping scenario for us. You know, as a minimum, we like to have a set of bathrooms. You know, if we don't have a set of bathrooms, then at least a set of long drops. But here there's a proper bathroom and it's just a short walk away. It's about, I'd say about 60 or 70 meters from the campsite itself. So, would I recommend Chipinda Pools campsite? Absolutely. It's a great campsite. It's beautiful to be on the river, to be able to fish, to have all the basic amenities that are here. 100% recommended. Unfenced campsite as well, which we love. So 100% recommended. So hope you enjoyed this episode, hope you found it informative, live from Gonarezhou National Park at Chipinda Pools. If you did enjoy the episode, hit the like button, leave a comment or a question below if you do have one, and subscribe if you haven't already. To everyone that has subscribed, thank you for your support for the channel. It's also Buy Me a Coffee facility if you would like to do that, 100% voluntary. And until the next episode, go everywhere, see everything, have a great time.